Yes, my dear friend, welcome back to the channel. This is Salon's Blog. A beautiful Wednesday morning here in Southeast Asia, Malaysia to be precise, and I'm welcoming you in a very special way. Yeah, it is true that the past few days we've been very quiet on issues. Yesterday I took it on on Thiago Silva, but today I am back to the training ground. I am back to the training ground with the information we are receiving from the training ground. All is going well. In preparation towards weekend's game against Brighton. Yeah, we must still move on. We need to let go the past and build on. On the coming weekend, we can't afford to lose that match any longer. If we are to make any headway into the top four, then we still have a chance. Mathematically, Chelsea can still get into the top four. Believe me, we can still make the top four if we can hit the ground running. But the problem is consistency. Wherever you are in Africa, you are in Europe, you are in Asia. I'm welcome in a very special way. Even my brothers in America, I really appreciate your company. I will never forget you guys. I will make sure that every time I'm here, I will try to recognize you all. This is Salon's Blog, and if you are new here, remember, it's about Chelsea. Every other news from every other club, football, or any other club is just like, extra. But our focus mainly is on Chelsea, and that is why everything we are doing here. Whenever I'm talking, I say we. I'm talking about we Chelsea fans. Yeah. There was Champions League last night, and today there will be a Champions League as well. But then, my focus right now is on Chelsea. Yesterday, 5 from the training ground. There was a training, back to the hard work. Back to the hard work. But before I go to that, Chris Sutton made a statement regarding the way he thinks what might be going through Pochettino's head right now. What he thinks might be going through Poch's head right now, our coach's head right now. He said, I think Pochettino, feels let down by his players. Essentially, I think it's a trust thing with him. Throughout the season, they've had good moments or bad moments, but a real lack of consistency. And I think it will be interesting how this whole situation pans out. Yeah. Personally, I wait to see their reaction over training and on the pitch coming weekend. I think our game is on Sunday. I am waiting to see how our players are going to be reacting and how the coach is going to be reacting. Because he felt let down. To be honest with you, he felt let down by the players. After the game, you listen to him post-match interview and the post-match conference. You could see clearly that he felt so let down by the players. He expected them to do more, to react in a better way. Based on what they tried to do from the training, Pochettino felt let down by the players. That is just it. And so, I'm just going to give you 5 from the training. What we noticed from the training ground yesterday. Yeah. That is what I'm going to let you know. Chelsea players returned to training yesterday as preparations for the weekend visit of Brighton began. Remember, they had a day off, a day or two off. They all returned on Tuesday back for training. They went on Sunday was a day off for them. They returned on Monday. Most of them Tuesday they had their first training, which was yesterday. Now, a sunny Sunday morning greeted Mauricio Pochettino and his squad at Cobham with a task at hand, putting the disappointment of Saturday's defeat at Newcastle behind them and refocusing for the next testing Premier League encounter that awaits. The next testing Premier League encounter that awaits, which is Brighton game. It is a testing Premier League encounter. Brighton is a test. That's just it. Brighton is a test to see our character. Pochettino wants his players to learn from what he described as a worst performance of the season at St. James Park. Pochettino described that performance as the worst performance of the season. So he would like to see a reaction from the players regarding that. As you can see the pictures on your screen from the training ground yesterday, 5 from training. Hard work starts again, and that is just it. They must react in a positive way. That is what the coach expects. We have a certain level that are required of us, and it's important we get back to those as soon as possible. And sometimes you need situations like this to make and you realize what it takes. We are a young talented squad. According to Pochettino, we are a young and talented squad. But regardless, you have to compete every time you step on the pitch. Those are the fundamentals, and we have to learn from this. Marco Cucurella, who will miss the Brighton game through suspension, but participated in training yesterday, recognized the need for a good week on the grass at Cobham. This is what he said. He said, we have a lot of talent, but we need to show that every week. It's not enough to show it one week and then not the next. We need to be more consistent, according to Marco Cucurella. When you have a good result, you are not the best team. And when you lose, you are not the worst. So we need to stay together in this bad moment and train hard, because we have to, or we have a very important game next week. The players were worked hard this morning with a focus initially on running for those who started at St. James Park. The players were worked hard, that was yesterday morning, with a focus initially on running. The focus more was on running for those who took part in the game at St. James Park. They did a lot of running that yesterday morning. As you can see them jogging around. Yes. All right. You see, Moise Caicedo came off the bench with Pochettino explaining his minutes needed to be managed after his late return from the international duty in Ecuador. The midfielder will be desperate to feature against his former club on Sunday, and he had his eyes on the ball today at training. He had his eyes on the ball today at training. He was putting in his best today at training ground. As you can see him right there with the ball right in front of him, right? Elsewhere, Christopher Nkunku continued his rehabilitation as he edges closer to a return to action. The attacker stayed in a preseason, but has yet to feature in a competitive fixture because of the knee injury he sustained against Borussia Dortmund. Before the Newcastle game, Pochettino gave the latest on Nkunku and other long-term absentees like Romeo Lavia. Lavia and Nkunku are still out, according to the coach. There is no time frame for them. It is difficult to say because we need to assess them day by day. They are in a good condition. Nkunku a little bit ahead of Lavia. He was doing things with the group last week, but it is still not a full recovery to be part of the squad, according to the coach. That is what he had to say regarding those who are on the injury list, preparing to come back or trying to make a comeback to the squad. Romeo Lavia and Christopher Nkunku. Well, let me end it here, and I'll see you in the next one with exclusives, more exclusives from the training ground and from the coaches and from the players. I shall be back. Watch out in the next hours. Shalom and peace.